At 81, Gladys Knight finally talks about Dionne Warwick. Gladys Knight was born Gladys Maria Knight on May 28, 1944, in Atlanta, Georgia. She grew up in a loving musical family that helped her natural singing gifts grow from when she was very young. By the time she was just 7 years old, Knight had already shown amazing singing skills, way beyond what most kids her age could do. Winning the talent competition on Ted Mack's Original Amateur Hour and shocking the judges with how deeply she could sing and how clear and beautiful her voice sounded. Her family saw not only her gift, but also how much she loved music. And soon, along with her siblings Meryl Bubba Knight and Brenda Knight, plus cousins Eleanor and William Guest, she formed the group that would later become famous, Gladys Knight and the Pips, through the late 1950s and early 1960s. The group worked super hard, touring, practicing, and making their special mix of soulful singing, perfect harmonies, and smooth dance moves even better. Their big break came in the mid-1960s when they signed with Motown Records, where they made hit after hit, including I Heard It Through the Grapevine, a song that showed off Knight's powerful gospel-style voice and became a huge moment in both her career and Motown history. Unlike many singers who had trouble keeping their sound during a time when music was changing really fast, Knight adapted and did even better, moving smoothly into the 1970s and delivering one of her most famous songs, Midnight Train to Georgia, which earned her a Grammy and became a timeless song for dreamers, strivers, and those who found strength in going back home. Beyond her amazing success with the Pips, Knight built a really strong solo career that proved she was one of the greatest singers of all time. She tried out different types of music ranging from soul and R&B to gospel and pop, bringing honest emotion and incredible skill to every performance. Her voice, warm, deep, rich with life experience, became something that comforted and inspired millions of people. Songs like License to Kill for the James Bond film, If I Were Your Woman, and Love Overboard show her amazing ability to mix vulnerability with power, creating music that feels both personal and grand. The years went by. Knight's artistry kept growing. She moved easily between genres, soul, R&B, adult contemporary, gospel, and found success in each one. Her 1980s and 1990s work showed how she could last in an always changing industry, with highlights like hits such as Save the Overtime for Me and her Grammy-winning gospel album, Heaven Help Us All. Even as musical trends changed, audiences stayed loyal to her authenticity, her bright stage presence, and the timeless quality of her voice. In addition to music, Knight also proved she was a talented actress and performer, appearing in movies, television shows, and stage productions. Her presence, confident, charismatic, and full of heart, made her a beloved figure far beyond just the world of music. She became a cultural icon whose influence spread across generations, inspiring artists such as Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, Mary J. Blige, Beyoncé, Jennifer Hudson, and countless others who say she was a foundational force in soul and R&B. Knight's personal life shows resilience, faith, and lasting strength. She faced challenges including career obstacles, family responsibilities, and personal loss. Yet she always came through with grace and determination. Her journey into gospel music, culminating in a Grammy-winning gospel album, showed not only her vocal mastery, but also her spiritual grounding and commitment to uplifting others through her artistry. Even as she achieved worldwide success, Knight stayed deeply connected to her roots, her family, and her values, carrying herself with humility and gratitude. What makes Gladys Knight truly extraordinary is not only her 7 Grammy Awards, her countless honors, or her induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but her legacy. A legacy built on authenticity, emotional truth, and the lasting ability to touch people's hearts. Her music has been woven into life's most meaningful moments, celebrations, heartbreaks, triumphs, and reflection. Few artists can claim such a deep and lasting impact. In 1976, Gladys Knight took a bold step beyond the recording studio and into the world of movies, making her acting debut in the film Pipe Dreams. Stepping into the lead role, Knight brought the same emotional depth, charisma, and presence that had made her a music legend, captivating audiences in a completely new way. Her performance was so good that it earned her a nomination for the Golden Globe Award for New Star of the Year. Actress, showing that her talents went far beyond singing and into the world of acting. This early recognition in Hollywood marked an important milestone in her career, proving that Knight could shine not only on the stage, but also on the big screen. Decades later, Knight would make another memorable film appearance in 2003, with a small but powerful role in Hollywood Homicide, a crime thriller featuring Hollywood heavyweights Harrison Ford and Josh Hartnett. Though her role was brief, her unmistakable presence added a touch of sophistication and seriousness, reminding audiences of her enduring star power and versatility. Knight's ability to move seamlessly between music and acting showed not just her talent, but her fearless commitment to exploring new creative paths. In 2009, Knight returned to the big screen in Tyler Perry's I Can Do Bad All By Myself, a film adaptation of one of Perry's hit stage plays. In the movie, she not only showcased her acting abilities, but also delivered a soulful performance of her iconic song, The Need to Be, from her 1974 album, I Feel a Song. This moment was a powerful reminder of Knight's extraordinary career longevity and her ability to touch hearts across generations. By blending her musical brilliance with her movie presence, Knight created a performance that was both nostalgic and fresh, bridging her past achievements with contemporary audiences and leaving a lasting mark on both the music and film worlds. In 1960, at the beginning of a decade that would soon reshape American music, a 16-year-old Gladys Knight took a bold step into adulthood when she married her Atlanta high school sweetheart, local musician James Newman. Their young marriage began with both hope and heartbreak. The couple suffered the pain of a miscarriage early on, an experience that tested their strength but ultimately brought them closer. Not long after, joy returned to their lives when they welcomed two children. Their son James, Jimmy Gaston Newman III, in 1962, followed by their daughter, Kenya Maria Newman, in 1963. As Gladys's talent blossomed and the Pips gained momentum, the whole family moved in the early 1960s to Detroit, the city pulsing with Motown magic. They settled in Sherwood Forest, an elegant tree-lined neighborhood on the city's west side, a place that symbolized the promise of a brighter future. During these years, Gladys stepped away from the constant demands of touring so she could raise her young children while the Pips continued performing, eventually to rejoin the group with Jimmy Newman returning as their musical director in an effort to keep the family and the music connected. But fame, pressure, and personal battles took a toll. Newman fell into drug addiction, a struggle that slowly destroyed their marriage. When Gladys was just 20 years old, he left the family. Though the couple stayed legally married for more than a decade, their separation stretched across 7 long years, years marked by emotional distance, attempts to get back together, and the weight of raising children alone before they finally divorced in 1973. Newman passed away only a few years later, leaving behind a complicated legacy of love, music, and heartbreak. A year after the divorce, in 1974, Gladys married again, this time to Barry Hankerson, a Detroit businessman who would later found the influential Blackground Records. Their union brought the arrival of a son, Shanga Ali Hankerson, born August 1, 1976. Around 1977, the family moved to Las Vegas, chasing new opportunities and a fresh start. But despite their promising beginnings, the marriage ended in 1979, resulting in a difficult and highly publicized custody battle. In one of the most painful chapters of her life, Gladys spent over $1 million searching for her son after he was kidnapped, a desperate fight only a mother could endure. Years later, in 1995, she married popular motivational speaker and television personality Les Brown, though they shared a period of inspiration and mutual support. Their relationship ultimately proved incompatible, and they divorced in 1997. Gladys found lasting love in 2001 when she married William McDowell, a man whose grounded spirit and shared devotion to community gave her a new sense of peace. Between them, they enjoy a large and blended family that includes 17 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren, an extended legacy built on love, resilience, and unity. Today, Knight and McDowell make their home in Fairview, North Carolina, near the historic community center they own together, the former Reynolds High School in Canton, where McDowell once studied. Their shared commitment to preserving local history and bringing people together reflects the values that have guided Gladys Knight through every chapter of her remarkable life. At 81 years old, Gladys Knight, long celebrated as the Empress of Soul and widely regarded as one of the most resilient and dignified voices in American music, has finally opened up about her longtime friend and fellow legend, Dionne Warwick. For decades, fans and journalists alike have sensed an unspoken connection between the two women. Two powerhouse singers who rose to fame in the same era, shared stages around the world, and navigated the unpredictable tides of the entertainment industry with grace, perseverance, and unmistakable star power. Yet, despite their parallel careers, Knight has rarely spoken at length about Warwick until now. Reflecting on a relationship built over more than half a century, Knight describes a bond shaped by mutual respect, admiration, and a deep understanding of what it means to be a Black woman carving out a legacy in a business that has not always made room for them. Dionne and I came up in a time when we had to fight for every opportunity, Knight explains. When one of us won, it felt like a victory for all of us. I've always loved that about her. Her strength, her elegance, her ability to stay true to who she is, no matter what's happening around her. Knight goes on to talk about the first time she saw Warwick perform live. She remembers standing backstage, listening to Warwick glide effortlessly through melodies, her voice floating above the crowd with a clarity that captivated everyone in the room. I knew right then that she was special. There was a presence about Dionne, a calm confidence that made you pay attention before she even sang a note. When she opened her mouth, it was magic. That moment, Knight says, stayed with her for the rest of her career. Over the years, the two women crossed paths at award shows, charity galas, television specials, and legendary concert lineups that featured some of the greatest voices of their generation. But Knight emphasizes that what bonded them was not just the shared spotlight. People don't always understand how much pressure we were under in those days. Constant travel, constant scrutiny, constant comparisons. It could wear you down if you weren't careful. But Dionne handled it with such grace. Whenever I saw her, she had a smile, a kind word, or a joke ready. She helped lighten the weight we all carried. Knight also addresses the long-standing rumor that there was rivalry between them. She laughs at the suggestion. Let me tell you something. I never competed with Dionne. I admired her. I respected her. There's room for all of us. And she earned every bit of her success. She's one of the greatest vocal stylists to ever live. That's not competition. That's inspiration. Toward the end of her reflection, Knight becomes even more heartfelt, speaking not as an icon, but as a woman who has lived long enough to cherish the relationships that endured. At this age, you look back and you realize how important it is to celebrate people while they're still here. Dionne is my sister in music, and I'm grateful for her. Grateful for her talent, her heart, and the path she helped pave for every singer who came after us. In sharing these long-awaited words, Gladys Knight not only honors Dionne Warwick, but also gives fans a glimpse into the profound, often unseen sisterhood among the women who helped shape modern music. For Knight, this moment is more than a tribute. It's a reminder that behind every legendary voice stands another who understands the journey, the sacrifice, and the triumph of a life built in song.